Fightland Episode One may look like the story of a former boxing champion trying to rebuild his life after prison, but by the ending it becomes clear that Duke Kilroy has no interest in starting over. Every move he makes after returning to London is part of a carefully planned revenge mission. His goal is not to reclaim his championship career or earn back public respect. He wants to destroy the Marshall family from the inside and force the one man he truly blames to come out of hiding. The episode begins by reminding viewers exactly how much Duke has lost. 8 years earlier, he stood at the very top of the boxing world. Winning championships, enjoying fame, and secretly falling in love with Joy Marshall, it appeared that everything in his life was finally coming together. Then everything changed almost overnight. After unknown attackers targeted Duke and attempted to destroy his boxing career by injuring his hand, his brother Calvin stepped in to protect him. Calvin paid for that decision with his life. For Duke, that tragedy became the defining moment of his entire life. Rather than allowing the legal system to deal with those responsible, he hunted down one of the attackers himself and brutally beat him to death. That act of revenge sent Duke to prison for 8 years and destroyed the career he had spent his entire life building. While Duke remained behind bars, Kingsley Marshall continued expanding both his legitimate boxing empire and the criminal organization operating beneath it. By the time Duke returns to London, everything has changed. His reputation has been destroyed, he has almost no money, and the man he wants revenge against has disappeared. Kingsley's absence creates one of the episode's biggest mysteries. Instead of confronting Kingsley directly, Duke discovers that the Marshall Empire is now controlled by Kingsley's children. Cece oversees much of the business with intelligence and discipline. She understands how power works and believes she is fully capable of leading the family operation. Zeke approaches leadership very differently. He is impulsive, emotional, and constantly trying to prove himself worthy of the authority his father rarely gave him. Rather than earning respect naturally, he often demands it through intimidation. This difference immediately creates a weakness inside the organization. Duke recognizes that he cannot defeat the Marshalls through force alone. Instead, he chooses deception. One of the smartest aspects of the premiere is that Duke deliberately allows everyone to underestimate him. Rather than acting like an angry former champion seeking revenge, he presents himself as a broken man desperate for another opportunity. He accepts insults. He performs small jobs. He allows Zeke to treat him like yesterday's news. He even appears willing to beg for another chance inside Marshall Promotions. From the outside, it looks humiliating. In reality, every moment serves a purpose. The less dangerous Duke appears, the more comfortable the Marshalls become with allowing him inside their business. That access is exactly what he needs. Instead of fighting them directly, he quietly watches how the organization operates, studies relationships between family members, and searches for the cracks already beginning to appear. His greatest advantage is that nobody believes he still has a plan. Cece sees an aging fighter whose glory days are over. Zeke sees someone he can easily control. Neither realizes Duke is carefully gathering information while pretending to have accepted defeat. One particularly clever move comes when Duke announces his comeback to the press before Marshall Promotions officially approves it. By making the announcement public, he traps Zeke into supporting the comeback whether he wants to or not. Rejecting Duke afterward would make the company appear disorganized and dishonest. It is a small victory, but it proves Duke is already manipulating events instead of simply reacting to them. The episode also explores Duke's complicated relationship with Joy. Unlike the rest of the Marshall family, Joy remembers the man Duke used to be before prison changed everything. Their relationship was never just a casual romance. They were secretly involved while Duke was still at the peak of his boxing career, creating feelings that clearly never disappeared. That history makes Joy different from every other member of the family. Cece and Zeke only see the broken boxer standing in front of them. Joy remembers the champion who once had everything. That emotional connection creates both an opportunity and a weakness. Duke can deceive the rest of the family, but hiding his true feelings from Joy may prove much more difficult. The episode quietly raises another intriguing possibility. It suggests Kingsley may have known about Duke and Joy's affair years earlier. Although nothing is confirmed, the timing of the attack on Duke's hand raises serious questions. If Kingsley ordered the attack after discovering their relationship, then the attempt to end Duke's career may have been motivated by far more than business interests. It could have been deeply personal. That possibility adds another emotional layer to Duke's revenge. He may not simply be seeking justice for Calvin's death. He may also be confronting the man who destroyed both his career and the woman he loved. Back in London, Duke's return home highlights another contrast. Jay welcomes him warmly, showing genuine loyalty despite everything that has happened. His father Gazer, however, offers him little comfort beyond a place to stay above Kilroy's gym. Their strained relationship suggests that prison did not only damage Duke's public reputation. It also left lasting scars inside his own family. Perhaps the most important moment of the ending comes when Duke targets the Marshall drug operation far earlier than expected. This decision reveals both his greatest strength and his biggest weakness. Strategically, Duke understands the Marshall Empire cannot survive if its criminal businesses begin falling apart. Every disruption creates pressure that may eventually force Kingsley to return. Emotionally, however, Duke struggles to remain patient. After waiting 8 long years for revenge, controlling his anger becomes increasingly difficult. That impatience may eventually become his greatest enemy. The premiere repeatedly emphasizes that Duke's revenge depends on maintaining his disguise. As long as everyone believes he is harmless, he remains free to investigate from within. The moment someone realizes he is intentionally sabotaging the organization, that advantage disappears. Cece, in particular, represents a major threat to his strategy. Unlike Zeke, she rarely allows emotion to cloud her judgment. She carefully observes people's behavior and questions motives before trusting anyone. While Zeke's ego makes him relatively easy to manipulate, Cece is much more likely to recognize that Duke's apparent weakness is only an act. Looking ahead, Episode 1 establishes several major conflicts that will shape the rest of the season. Where is Kingsley Marshall, and why has he disappeared? Will Joy eventually reveal what she still feels for Duke? How long can Duke maintain his disguise before Cece uncovers his true intentions? And perhaps most importantly, can Duke keep his desire for revenge under control long enough to complete his plan? The ending suggests that his greatest obstacle may not be the Marshall family at all. It may be his own temper. Fightland Episode 1 delivers a strong opening because it avoids turning Duke into a straightforward action hero. Instead, it presents a man forced to rely on intelligence, deception, and patience after losing nearly everything that once defined him. His boxing comeback is little more than a cover story. His humble attitude is carefully performed, and every conversation hides another move in a much larger game. By quietly positioning himself inside the Marshall Empire while secretly attacking its foundations, Duke begins a revenge campaign that threatens to destroy one of London's most powerful criminal families from within. The only question is whether he can stay patient long enough to finish what he started before his anger exposes the truth.